Okay, so I just pulled into my appointment here today. I have my 37-week appointment, and it's the first time that I'm actually going into the office since they've changed their policy. It's the first time I'm going in since they've changed their policy, so I believe that they're going to take my temperature as I walk in, and I took my temperature before I left, and I was good. I do know that nobody else is allowed in the office to join me for a visit, so like no kids, no spouses, no partners, anything like that. No friends, no grandparents, that kind of thing. So I am gonna head in here and see how things are different. I also have a non-stress test today. I've never had one of those before, so we'll kind of see how that goes. And when I get back to the house, I'm gonna update you on all of the things that have been going on because there is a lot. All right, well, that was really something. I took a little video of like what the non-stress test looks like. Basically, if you've never done a non-stress test before, I had not, what you do is you go in, they monitor your uterus, and then they monitor the baby's heart rate. And you push a button, and every time you push the button, they want to see the baby's heart rate go up. If the baby's heart rate does not go up, it causes a little bit of concern. So when I first got there, our little guy had the hiccups. He had the hiccups, and it was loud. It was on the machine. I'm gonna insert that clip right here. So I'm like pushing the button, because I feel the hiccups, and she said every little movement, push the button. And then she came in and she was like, you don't have to push the button for hiccups. He has the hiccups. I'm like, oh, I could tell that he did, but I wasn't really sure. Because he had the hiccups when we got there, she thinks that his baseline heart rate started higher, and then he would move and his heart rate would actually dip down. So then they were a little bit concerned. Ultrasound tech couldn't see me for another 45 minutes. So they were like, let's do your doctor's visit in between, and then we'll come back. So I did the doctor's visit. Everything went well there. I go back and they do they are doing another non-stress test, and he basically passed that non-stress test. So, but he fell asleep. So they were like, we still want to see what the ultrasound looks like. Went into the ultrasound. It's 30 minutes, and it's called like a biospherical, I'm the worst at these things. It's a different type of scan. So they want to see movements, and they count different movements, and he has to score an 8 out of 8. And they need to see that he's practice breathing. So she counted all the movements. Everything was good, but he's not practice breathing. For 30 minutes. He has 30 minutes to show us that he is doing this. And she said they don't do it all the time. It's involuntary. We just have to wait and see. If he doesn't show us that he's doing it, technically he passes, but because you had an issue with the first non-stress test, the doctor might send you to the hospital to be monitored for 2 hours. It's like, no. This baby, in the last minute, he shows us that he is practice breathing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So he didn't have to go to the hospital. Now is like not the time that you want to be hanging out at the hospital. You know what I'm saying? Everything looks really good. The baby is looking really good. I got 0 good pictures because he was covering his face. I did get to see his lips and his chin, which I've already dropped the pictures off to Matt. So, and she took another picture of his penis. That was like the part that we got to see the most. So, thank goodness he is fine. And to kind of like what it was like going into this doctor's office, I thought for sure today they were going to check my temperature before I had my my visit. Sign on the door, it's bright pink, and it says stop if you have a cough or if you have a fever, turn around, go back to your car. There was also a notification that there were no other visitors allowed into the office. During the visit, I did find out some updates about our hospital. So one of the things that I like about our hospital is that it's completely separate building from the rest of the hospital. So labor and delivery is totally separate. There are a couple of floors that I've heard that they could turn over into like COVID-19 floors if our area needs it. But at this moment, we do not. We go in and I'm talking to her about these things. She did say that the hospital visit just changed today. So before I was allowed one support person and then one visitor allowed between 11 a.m. and 7 p.m. That visitor is no longer allowed. So it will just be my support person, which is Matt, my husband. That's what Matt and I were planning on anyway, because I can't imagine trying to choose just one person to come and visit us. And children were not allowed to be part of that visitor. So anyway, nothing in my world has changed today in terms of who can come to the hospital and who cannot. She did check me. I'm at 1 centimeter dilated, which is super exciting for me. I am feeling contractions, so I'm definitely feeling like my body is preparing for labor. I think it's time to pack that hospital bag, get the exercise ball out, and just start bouncing away. And baby is head down. So we are ready to go. I'm starting to I feel very calm about this whole thing. It is strange, and it will be very, very strange if I cannot have Matt in the delivery room with me. But if that's something I have to prepare myself for, I can get through it and I can do it. It's not going to be fun, but he will still be a part of this. You know, this is still our child. And it's just one day. I do know, I think at this time, if everything goes as planned, we've had 2 very healthy labor and deliveries before. But we've always stayed 2 days. We've always stayed the maximum amount that we were allowed to stay. And if everything goes smoothly, we will probably stay the 24-hour period. It'll be a little bit more than that, she said, because they have to run lab work on newborns at 24 hours. So she said it might be like 27 hours. That would be the fastest turnaround for us to leave if everything goes well. I think that's probably what we'll plan on, because we want to be home and to be with the boys and not to be in the hospital where things could be contaminated. What a weird and strange, crazy thing. I have always said that I like the 2 days that I'm allotted after having a vaginal delivery, because after Tucker was born, you can go back and watch the video. I think it's the one where we bring him home. The beginning of that video, I am so tearful and I was in so much pain. Not just down there because I tore, but that wasn't even it. The breastfeeding was so difficult for me with Tucker at the very beginning. It was really tough, and I needed those resources, the lactation consultants. I needed them in the hospital at that time. I needed someone to tell me it's okay to put this antibiotic cream on your nipples. It will heal them. They are cracked. They are sore. They are bleeding. Like, you need to heal first and then, you know, and continue breastfeeding. But you have to continue doing it. And they showed me different ways of breastfeeding. Those are all things that wouldn't have happened if we left. If we left within that 24-hour period or just that one day. I wouldn't have had that support and I wouldn't have had those resources. I could have called, but would I? So I have to sort of also mentally prepare myself for after this, that if I am feeling those things, I need to call, because they are there and they are support. It's just not physical. They're not physically right there face to face with me. Oh my goodness. So those are the things that I'm thinking about. that's kind of where my head is right now. For those of you that follow me on Instagram, you probably know that my parents are in Florida currently. They are on their way back, or will be on their way back pretty soon. They're gonna quarantine themselves, and then we will be able to see them. Hopefully before the baby is born, but maybe not. We will just see how everything pans out. I know a lot of people are really having a hard time, and a lot of people have been asking me, like, what are you gonna do? What are you thinking? Blah, 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 blah. And there are a lot of questions. And I am just saying, this is how I feel. These are my opinions. I'm not going to overanalyze it, because literally things are changing every single day. And I can't control it. So it's out of my hands. I'm just gonna pray about it and hope that I can remain positive, and hope that everything goes as well as it can. I am not a great candidate for home birth. I am definitely still looking to get an epidural. That is my plan. That is how I've been thinking this whole entire time. I'm 37 weeks pregnant. I can't imagine flipping right now and saying, yeah, I'm going to do home birth. I'm going to do this all natural. Like, get the tub. Let's blow it up in the middle of the living room and do this. I can't start to go down that road, because I know that other women can do that. I don't think I'm strong enough to do that, and I'm not sure that Matt could be prepared for that. We've talked about it, and he has said, like, we're not going to do that, right? That's not what we're doing, right? So that's where we are. Huge. I've gained way more weight than I ever anticipated during this pregnancy. Oh, goodness gracious me. It's okay. The last baby, probably. I don't know if I can do this again. I love little ones, and I guarantee you I have this baby and I say, let's do it again. I've got to do it again. I love that little newborn stage. It's just the best. We'll see.